have the mindset. You just need the means. Hello, we're Qtrade. Investment is our calling, and we are fully invested in what we do. We craft tools so you can realize opportunity. We shape experience so you can execute with ease. We offer support so you can move forward. We do it so you can invest with confidence. We are the map makers. You are the explorer. We are the pen and ink. You are the author. So go, find your way, unleash your dreams, write your own future.
Well, good evening, everyone. And on behalf of the McMaster Alumni Association, I'd like to welcome you to this webinar. And thank you for joining us on a very beautiful evening, or so it's very beautiful here in Hamilton. Tonight, we are introducing a new affinity program that the McMaster Alumni Association has brought into the fold, and I'm very excited to hear about this new program. We're going to be looking at online investing with Qtrade. So before I begin and introduce our speaker for this evening, I'd like to do a little bit of housekeeping. Just so everyone knows, when we launched this new partnership with Qtrade, we are offering alumni preferred pricing on trades and a bonus incentive of 50 free trades for new accounts opened before the end of June. So a few more weeks. We are pleased to bring you this first of two webinars. The next one will be on June the 28th. More information will follow at the end of the webinar for that. So if we don't get to all of your questions this evening, we will use the opportunity to answer those questions that we don't get to tonight in a few weeks. So our speaker tonight is Joe Firrincieli, and he's the Director of Sales, who is going to walk us through some key steps and considerations and benefits of online investing. And we'll also do a quick demo of the Qtrade platform. Joe, thank you for joining us. I should mention before I hand the proverbial mic over to you that we had lots of pre-submitted questions, and I think you're going to try to weave as many of those into the webinar. And we will be opening up a live Q&A probably in the last 15 minutes or so. So if you have a question, please feel free to, on your little icon, the Q&A icon, type that question in the chat, and I will relay that question to Joe. So Joe, thanks for joining us, and take it away.
Perfect. Thanks, Christine. And thank you for joining me today. Welcome to Learning How to Invest with Qtrade Direct Investing. Very excited and proud to be here to be the first online brokerage in Canada to partner with McMaster Alumni Association. So let's jump right in. The world is changing, and I'm sure you're hearing more and more recent news about the uncertainty and non-volatility. We're probably all wondering, why should we start investing right now? Why should I start in looking at my own investments or taking on that risk at this opportune time? Despite the volatility we see in the market, we do see opportunities. In fact, it's never too late to learn and to invest in yourself, and that's what we're going to do today. It's important to have a long-time view with regular investing behaviors. Although markets go up and markets go down, having a long-term view allows us to weather the storm through our tough times in our market, as you can see by this graph, and participate through those good times and benefit from the opportunities of greater returns. As I mentioned before, and historically, what you've seen is ultimately we've seen volatility in the market. So what does this mean? How do we benefit from opportunities in the market? And there is tough times that we go through, and how do we weather through those storms? And how do we participate through the good times? Historically, being invested for longer periods of time allows investors to take advantage of growth opportunities. Today, we'll be touching on a few concepts, benefits of online investing, setting up a plan, what to buy and sell, why diversification really matters. And then we'll switch gears a little bit to talk about how to start online investing and walk through a Qtrade investing platform. So can you guys hear me okay?
Yep. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, sound great.
Okay. Let me start with sharing some common misconceptions around online investing. Most people think that you have to be an active trader, you have to have lots of money to invest, or you need to be an expert in the financial markets. I'm here to tell you that you don't need to be a financial expert. In fact, all you need to do is simply invest in yourself and create a plan. Over the last 3 years, the online brokerage industry has seen a remarkable growth in assets, revenue, and new account openings. And that momentum has showed no signs of slowing down, with more people at home and more access to research and a willingness to invest. Currently, 30% of Canadians have an online brokerage account and growing. And who's driving that? Well, Generation Z and millennials are the biggest catalysts of driving that growth. In fact, Generation Z over the next 10 years is expected to grow the industry by 16 times. A lot of what's driving their behavior is a do-it-yourself mindset, as well as a focus for responsible investing and being digitally savvy. But let's hear more from you. I'm interested in hearing how you invest, and there's no wrong answers here. How many of you prefer to work with an advisor? How many of you invest online? Or how many are currently aren't investing at all? And while we're waiting for that, I'll have an opportunity to answer some of those questions once those poll numbers come back, get a better sense. Okay, great. Hopefully you can see the results there too. Many of you are currently working with an advisor, so that's great. So if you find a good one, this can be a great option for you, a great opportunity to share some ideas and diversify. If we look at financial planning as a pie chart, online investing could be a sleeve of your overall portfolio, and the value of advice can offer many benefits to investing. For people who are interested in online investing, online brokerages offer many advantages. We offer low costs, an easy to use platform, access to planning and research tools to help you make well-informed decisions. But when you are considering an online platform, it's important to decide what's most important to you. It could be fees, maybe the lower cost of trailing commissions is keeping more of your money invested and working on your behalf. Maybe it's control and convenience, having the opportunity to change your investments and be in charge of those. Have the convenience to have alerts and events or stock market changes alert you in those changes of what's happening in the market and be able to react to those. Maybe it's speed or choice, the opportunity to really execute and make sure that your trades are being executed in a timely manner and at your pace. Choice, obviously offering a lot more flexibility and options that you have to make sure you're identifying and hitting your portfolio goals. And you have many options between ETFs, bonds, mutual funds, options, and GICs. Maybe information is an important factor to you. Access to research tools, calculators, analyst recommendations, market news, and economic news. These are all contributing factors that I think play a huge role in making sure you're getting the benefits of online investing. Whatever that option is, identify what's most important to you, select those that are most focused to you when you are looking at an online brokerage, and make sure that you're making the right decisions to make sure you're informed in all your decisions. It's important to remember, failing to plan is planning to fail. Once you've picked what you're looking for from an online brokerage, you need to factor in your plans and goals. So where do you start? This is a great 5-step process to get you started. Let's take a closer look at each of them. So investing knowledge. Either whether you're a beginner, expert, or somewhere in between, this is a great opportunity to first identify where you fit in, how you fit in, uncover what you do know and what you don't know. Maybe it's available time, focusing on how much time you can actually allocate to investing and finding out the research, and how interested are you in actually participating in an online brokerage. Identifying your risk tolerance, whether high or low, identify which risk option is the best for you or the right fit for you. Objectives, make sure that you are investing for, what are you investing for? What goals are you looking to achieve and how are you going to achieve them? And your time horizon. What will you need or when will you need to access these funds once you've achieved what you're looking for from your objectives? Ultimately, I want you to keep in mind that when you are making decisions, you're not focusing on emotions. In fact, you're keeping in mind flexibility. Your goals and the markets could change. So you need to monitor, review, and plan for that. Now that you have your plans and goals in mind, you need to decide which asset type and asset allocation are best to meet your needs. Here are 3 main asset types that we commonly see with our online investors. Equities and stocks. This is where you're buying stocks or shares of or part ownership of a company. These offer the highest short-term risk with the longest or the highest long-term returns. For example, let's say you want to purchase 100 of Air Canada shares. Fixed income. Fixed income refers mainly to government or corporate bonds, which are used mainly to provide income and stability, and they can offer a buffer against any market volatility. And then there's cash or equivalents. This refers to any cash that you might have in your accounts or guaranteed investment certificates known as GICs. Very safe, but offer low rates of interest or returns. Once you understand the asset classes, it's time to select an asset allocation model that actually meets your risk tolerance. Here's an example of 5 different portfolios. And basically these portfolios are options that are used with the 3 main asset types to best identify and limit the amount of risk in your portfolio. So as you can see from the conservative portfolio, that would be our least riskiest portfolio with our lowest potential returns, as there's a composition of 20% equities, 70% fixed income, and 10% cash. As we move up the continuum, you can see our income, balance, growth, and aggressive offer potentially options of equities and fixed income in different allocations to really look at diversification to help it reduce the risk and improve the return. A comparison that we commonly see is an income investor, for example, their asset allocation might be 80% fixed income, 20% equities, which means that they might be leaning more towards a more conservative portfolio, where someone in an aggressive growth portfolio who's having 100% equities might experience a higher potential return over a shorter period of time. So we saw in the last slide that it's often a great idea to create a portfolio mix with different asset types to try and reduce that risk and improve your returns. Diversification is the key, and it really matters. It's the practice of spreading money across different investments. As you can see here, we can diversify by industry, sector, company, as well as geography. So whether we're looking at the industry and diversifying by healthcare, energy, or technology, we can look at different company sizes, whether those be small, mid caps, or large caps, or looking at specific regions if we're interested in that, whether that be Canada, US, global, or the emerging markets. Diversification offers you the opportunity to participate in the gains of the best performing assets while limiting your exposure to potentially declining assets. When it comes to online investing, we've seen many new investors look at ETFs and mutual funds. Both of these offer easy and cost-effective ways to diversify and reduce risk. ETFs and mutual funds are professionally selected and a managed basket of investments and give you exposure to up to thousands of companies and issuers at once. Also, ETFs, because there's a lot of them, they offer lower fees and products have become extremely popular with our investors. We also see now more of that research being easily spent and provide access to many more options and reducing that amount of time that it takes for you to actually find the research and invest in those selections. We are seeing more trends in socially responsible investing, ESG, and socially responsibly investing, and a lot of that exposure is coming from ETFs. So just to recap, we looked at the growth of an online investor and the opportunities. We also looked at creating a plan to meet your goals. But by now, you might be thinking, how do I actually open an account? What type of account should I be opening? Well, let's take a closer look at some of the more popular accounts. As you can see on this graph, here are the 4 most popular accounts that we see being opened. So a TFSA, or a tax-free savings account. This is a tax advantage registered account where your investment earnings are tax sheltered at withdrawal. A cash account, which is your non-registered, a straightforward investing account where your earnings are taxable. An RSP, a registered investment savings plan where your tax deferred savings are usually saved for retirement. Or a margin account where people are looking to borrow to trade, often using it for short selling or option trading. Each of these accounts allows you to buy and sell, whether it be stocks, ETFs, bonds, mutual funds, or GICs. And no matter what investment platform you're using, investors can open multiple investing accounts at multiple brokerages. No matter what you choose to do, regulators will require specific information when opening an account. So you'll need government issued ID, social insurance number, as well as details of incomes, assets, and net worth. Now, before we switch gears and walk through a demo of Qtrade Direct Investing, let me know, what do you consider the current level of your investing experience? Is it A, beginner, B, intermediate, or C, advanced? Great. As those are coming in, I can see 66% are beginners just getting started on their investment journey, which is phenomenal. This is a great way for you to get started. 27 are intermediate and 7 are advanced. It's a great way for us to be able, whether you're the most novice investor or the most sophisticated investor, ultimately learning and investing in yourself creates an opportunity for you to dig a little deeper into what's out there, what's available, and learn more about opportunities that you see that best fit you. So now let's switch gears and move to a demo of Qtrade's investment platform. Just to let you know, Qtrade, for those of you that aren't familiar, has recently received many, over the last 20 years, many awards and accolades. We've been ranked #1 digital brokerage and online brokerage in the industry by Globe and Mail, Money Sense, and Service Corps, and continue to look at ways of improving and making enhancements for our investors. Sorry. And if you can let me know if that's on your screen.
Looks good.
Perfect. So when you first log into Qtrade, there's a great opportunity. As you can see, when you first log in, it's very simplistic, very simple, easy to use. You'll see a number of tabs here, which are drop-down menus to be able to access all of your information on your accounts, as well as trading, market information, investment tools, research, and education. For today's presentation, we're going to speak a little bit more about the education component and just very high level about the look and feel of the platform itself. In our second webinar, we're going to have an opportunity to really take a deeper dive into placing trades, into looking at some of the research tools and calculators, as well as the research that we have available that you can leverage. So at first glance, when you first log in, you can see what's interesting, and most people have always said, all they really want to know is how much have I invested and what's it at today? And that's where we have the current market value of your portfolio. We can break it down by week, month, quarter, year to date, or as well as 1 or 3 years. This is a great way or a great snapshot to see what your accounts are doing. If you want quick access to your portfolios, you can see here you'll have a number of accounts that we'll be able to access by just clicking and take a deeper dive to see which holdings you have or to be able to identify what they're doing in those portfolios. Further down on the left, you'll be able to see some economic news from analyst review. What I really like about our platform is the convenience of having all this information at your fingertips. Most of us that are looking for research or looking for information often have to go to different sources. Some of us might go to Reddit, some of us might go to Twitter, some of us might use independent research companies or third-party research companies like Yahoo Finance, just to name a few. These are really great opportunities where we can find the information, leverage it, and be able to have it all in one place so that you're making informed decisions that best meet your needs. If you're looking for specific stock quotes, you can enter those here and be able to see a drop-down list and click further detail into it. If you're looking for information on the indices, that would be listed on the right side of this, as well as with quick links, calculators, and tools that we have, any market commentary, as well as any information on your trade activity. Okay. If we look a little bit further, I often get asked, and one of the questions that came up from early on, which was pre-submitted, thank you, was where do I start or how do I start? If you click under the education tab, you can see under educational resources. This is our one-stop location for you to be able to access all information on where to get started and how to get started. So we talked a little bit about different account types, different investment types, as well as getting started. These are great guides, as well as videos to help you get started on your investment journey. We have quick little short videos on how to buy stocks online, how to get started if this is the first time that you started with an online brokerage industry, as well as more detailed information about some of the products like RSPs, ETFs, as well as GICs. By clicking more, you can dig a little deeper and you can see we've got articles that have already been pre-selected and some of the questions and informations that we had that actually take you into a deeper dive into how to start investing, an introduction into exchange traded funds. If you're looking for advantages of using a TFSA and what the contribution limits are, we've got more detailed information on that. Responsible investing has become very popular, as well as socially responsible investing. So we've got articles and information that we're able to focus on that and dig a little deeper to be able to communicate comfortably in figuring out where there's an opportunity for you to have that advantage. If you wanted to dig deeper and understand a little bit more, for example, of incorporating responsible investing into your portfolios, you can simply click into these links and be able to get more and more information on responsible investing, how it works, and what's the right opportunities and what you should be looking for when it comes to socially responsible investing. If you are wondering how to get started, once you've identified where the research is, we've got a number of tools, calculators, as well as investment ideas with these short links that you can click and hover on, as you can see where my cursor is, to be able to help you make decisions that help you provide you the great opportunity and making sure that you're making the right decisions. So whether you're planning for your to identify what you're looking for from your investments, how you're going to develop that, as well as evaluate any analyst recommendations that you might be looking at, or any fundamental research to help you with making more calculated decisions, and then actually how to place the trade. And I think this is important. This follows our 5-step process that we spoke about earlier: setting your goals, discover the investment idea that best works for you, evaluate the stocks that you feel are a good fit for you based on the recommendations, place the trades that you feel comfortable in placing, and then constant monitoring either through news feeds, watch lists, or alerts that you can create. And it's always important that no matter what, whether you're the most novice or the most sophisticated investor, to always review your holdings, always monitor them, make sure that they're performing against your benchmarks, but also performing in the way that you want them to perform, and make the necessary changes as you see fit. Heading back, under the education tab, we also have opportunities where you can, if you're the most active investor, we've got a little bit more detailed information, whether those are videos to help you, self-help videos, or even charts and patterns, which we can dig a little deeper as well as more focus and information on margin trading. So all of the information that we feel is necessary for you to make more calculated decisions, feel more comfortable, and take the emotions out of investing, you will need to invest some time in that education component to compare and contrast those. Also, too, what I wanted to highlight was a few things here. You can see at any point when you are opening an account, you do have a Guide Me feature where these are frequently asked questions or shortcuts where you have people that may have asked other questions or questions that come up quite frequently to help you make the process much easier. So for example, if you wanted to identify where to transfer money, you can simply hover over that and it'll give you step-by-step what area you should be doing in order to walk you through the process of transferring funds from one institution to another. You also have a live chat feature, which is coming up, not in the demo environment, but it is available in your account opening, as well as at the top, you have opportunities to click either frequently asked questions or contact us at any point. Okay. In our next webinar, we'll be going through some information, as you can see here, about our ETFs, about some of the mutual fund options, as well as some of the market news and commentaries, as well as tools, and be digging a little deeper at the research that's available for you to take more information as we go. So if you are interested in opening an account, as Christine mentioned earlier, we do have a special offer for McMaster alumni. We do have access to 24-hour investing and the opportunity for our McMaster alumni to get 50 free trades when you open a new Qtrade Direct Investing account. All you need to do is either use your phone or your computer. You'll be prompted to collect some of that information that we said before. So your government ID, details of your investments or your accounts, as well as information on verifying your identity. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to complete your profile. Once you submit your application, you'll receive an email and your application will be approved. If you're not quite sure yet, and you're still thinking about opportunities on investing, we do have a 30-day free trial account that you can access to walk through similar demo environment and take it for a test drive yourself. But exclusively for our McMaster, we do have a boost right now. We do offer 50 free trades. So this is available for the first 100 McMaster alumni who want to open an account. You'll simply need to open an account with the promo code MAC50 by June 30th. And you'll also benefit from Investor Plus program, which is our benefit, which you're getting trading at a discount, getting a dedicated support phone number, as well as more details and frequently asked questions by just clicking on this link below on identifying what's available through our Investor Plus program. So you've got goals in mind, but before I go, I think it's time to review some of the points we discussed. When you want to try online investing, or if you are thinking of trying online investing, it only takes a few steps to get started. First of all, consider your financial goals. Choose a brokerage that best fits you. Open and fund your investment account. Choose your ideal assets and asset allocation model that best meets your risks. Then start trading, either buy, hold, or buy and sell as you like, and continue to monitor and invest to meet your goals as that environment continues to change. Again, join us in 2 weeks. We'll be learning more about our next webinar, which is focused more on the how to do online investing. That's June 28th at 6:30. And we'll take a deeper dive into ways to decide which investments to buy, how investors place trades online. And we'll take a deeper dive into some of the demonstrations of some of our top investing resources. And hopefully we'll have more time for your questions. And with that, Christine, I'll share it back to you.
Great, thanks, Joe. All right, so it's Q&A. So while we let everyone type in their questions, as you know, we had many questions, and there was, a theme definitely that I was interested in because I did not know what this word was before. So let's just ask the question because many people on this webinar may have submitted this. Question, do you have a selection of ESG investment vehicles? And for people who are maybe old like me, who didn't know what ESG is, it's an environment, social, and governance. So I think like social responsible, I guess, stocks or whatever, right?
Yeah. So ESG and socially responsible investing is becoming more popular in our industry and definitely with younger cohorts. And that's important for us. And a big focus for us as well, because we actually have a company that we affiliate ourselves with or we own, which is NEI Investments. And that relationship has been over 35 years of socially responsible investing. So we get a lot of our research and our options available either through ETFs as well as through mutual funds through that company. And it allows us to really have a focus. They're largely involved in ESG and socially responsible investing, and they've been doing it for over 35 years. So their expertise and opportunities provide a lot of scale and size for us to be able to make those decisions when it comes to the investment options that we provide on our platform as well. So a lot of those options and a lot of that research is passed on to our investors through the Qtrade digital platform.
Great, okay, thank you. So Charles has a question and wants to know, so I'm assuming Charles is the grad, and he wants to know if he can open an account for his adult children and get the McMaster incentives.
That's a great question. I believe we're going to have to take that one away and get back to you on that, Charles. Obviously, as we know, the McMaster offer is for the first 100 people that open a new account. To my knowledge, I do believe it's only for our McMaster alumni, not passed on to your children. However, I will double check and get back to you on that. Good question.
Or Charles, maybe you could get your adult children to come back to Mac. they could do a graduate degree, and then they would be a McMaster alumni. So Mary Lynn has a question and just wanted to know what the name of your the ESG company that you had referenced.
Yeah, it's NEI. NEI. It used to be Northwest Ethical.
Great. Now Elizabeth has a question. I think this is sort of a broader question. What does free trade mean? I'm not quite sure if I understand, like, in the concept of free trade.
Yep. Free trade allows you to be able to execute either a buy or sell. Ultimately, when it comes to the online brokerage, there is a fee for the service of either buying or purchasing an investment, whether that be an ETF or a mutual fund. And so those trades are waived. The 50 free trades are waived for McMaster alumni.
Great. Hopefully that answers Elizabeth's question. So Joe, were there any questions that you thought maybe were popular that came in?
Yeah,
that you could answer?
Yeah. So one of the questions that came in that was really interesting for me was the question that came around on where should I start looking for my information, or where should I get recommendations if someone is looking to start investing. And one of the things that I always say to many people is, when you're looking at an online brokerage industry platform and you are interested in it, because many people more and more are, I would say do your homework. So there are a lot of competitors in the space, especially on the online brokerage side, and they are offering many nuances or little differences from one another. So definitely take a deeper dive. Go back to what we talked about early on. What's important to you? What are some of the factors that you're looking for from an online brokerage platform? And be able to just kind of focus on some of the goals. Read the fine print, because there are a lot of hidden costs and hidden fees. That's one of the questions that came up as well, which we're going to take a little bit more of a deeper dive in our next webinar to take you through a demo. There are differences. Some have advantages, some have disadvantages in the competitor space. What I do like about our platform is we offer full transparency in what you see is what you get. As you can see by just briefly through the platform that I went through, all the research tools, all the analytical tools, all the information is basically housed in one place. So you're not outsourcing it in different places. So that does help you limit your costs and also help limit your frustrations of having to find research in different places. Hopefully that helps. Another question that came up was around account minimums. So there is no account minimum required to trade for us. So that's important for many people to know. Some platforms out there do offer or do have a trading minimum. Again, that's something that if you're just starting out your investment journey and you want to spend a little bit more time on discovering the research and making a more calculated decision, that's something to consider too, because obviously that will be a fee that you'll have to focus on.
That's an impact that may determine, the platform or whatever. And along that, Joe, there are a couple of questions, wanting to know sort of the fees. What is the normal fee for a trade? How much does it cost to trade? Are there membership costs associated with the Qtrade platform?
Yeah. So when you look at our competitors in the marketplace, especially the big banks, you're looking at an average price per trade around $9.95 or $9.99, and that's the major banks. And some of them have limitations, as we said. Some of them have their challenges on what you're looking for or what you are interested in. We're competitively priced at $8.75. When you look at the broader stroke, obviously for you guys the fee is lower. It's at $6.95, which is our Investor Plus program pricing. So that's a benefit, enabling you to really get a discount when it comes to the investment space out there. And there is a quarterly admin fee in most of the platforms out there, usually around $25. And that's usually, we do have options to waive that. And that's just by maintaining a certain amount in your portfolio or by placing a certain amount of trades during a period of time in a calendar quarter. So there's different ways, again, that we can try and help. And it goes back to what I had said earlier. Being fully transparent is important to us. And I think it's important that you're making the decisions and uncovering, that and not being kind of taken by surprise when these fees are coming up. So really dig deep and find out what you're getting and what you're paying for when it comes to an online platform.
Wonderful. And I think that might, Charles had a follow-up question, which I think you just answered, saying, there are numerous online trading companies out there. Why should one choose Qtrade? What are the advantages of an independent company like yours versus one linked to a bank? And I think finance, right? Clearly, choosing Qtrade as an alumni, you're going to save about $3, right, per trade compared to a bank.
The other thing that I would like to add to that, Christine, is being nimble. So our platform is constantly evolving. If we are comparing towards the big banks, things move a little bit slower. They're not spending as much time on revamping their platform. Some are from a perspective of moving it, but there is a statistic that over the last 3 years, the online brokerage industry at the big banks is actually losing 2% to independents, like 2% of their online brokerage assets to independents, companies like Qtrade. So there is something to be said about some of the enhancements, some of the focuses that we're doing. Also, as you can see, over the last little while, we've been mentioned in the Globe and Mail. We've won many awards and accolades as being one of the best online brokerages in the industry, and continue to build on that momentum by making enhancements and being able to be focused on providing the tools that are necessary for our investors.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like it's even better that we've partnered with Qtrade.
Yeah.
Still lots of people on the call. Was there maybe something else that you wanted to mention, Joe? Any other themes that came through with the questions while we're waiting for people to type in the questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Christina. I think it's important. It was interesting to see the number of people in the first poll question that were just starting on their investment journey. So as I mentioned, I know we're trying to cram a lot of information into a short period of time with the webinar session. So I would really urge those people that are just starting on their investment journey to either open an account or even try that trial account that we talked about. And that gives you an opportunity to really take a deeper dive and find the information, start a process on what's important to you and identifying that. Because that's the good starting point. And ultimately, it's a great way for you to get started and figure out whether or not an online brokerage platform is something you want to do or just want to participate in. And if you are, that's fine. It's just a matter of being comfortable with what you're comfortable in doing and how much you're comfortable in investing. Ultimately, you either hear the good and the bad when it comes to you investing in the stock market. You either hear that many people have made a lot of money, or the reverse. You've heard people have lost a lot of money. So I really want you to focus on some of the key themes that we talked about earlier, which is really just starting a plan, focus on what the asset type and asset allocation is most important to you. Create that plan to make sure that you have something that you have in mind that you want to achieve, and rebalance or refocus to that, so that enables you to make a more focused approach and take the emotions out of investing.
Very good advice. Anytime you're dealing with money, absolutely. So Mary Lynn had a follow-up question. This is sort of housekeeping. When one is doing the online application, is there a space where they list that they're a Mac grad?
There will be a space by using the promo code MAC50. You will be able to identify that you are a Mac alumni.
Wonderful, thank you. Louise has a question. So what are the safeguards if you were not able to do your own investing due to capacity, physically or cognitively? So what are the safeguards if you were not able to do your own investing due to capacity?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I don't know if I understand that. So maybe Louise, you can type in the chat, sort of a follow-up, like your own. So are you thinking someone else is investing, or you're investing for yourself? I don't know if we have, if that's within the scope of this talk.
I think very high level. I mean, if you're in an area where, for example, you can't make financial decisions, ultimately you want to work with an advisor or have a POA on your account, there has to be obviously a layer of a component. We will have to verify information on with the person that's making the trade or investing. We do have, if the question's more related around account opening, we do have a compliance review that has to be done, and ultimately we will, if anything, you can access a POA or a power of attorney, but that would be something that I would say if we do get a more clarification on the question specific, we can get back to them on that.
Yes, you know what, Louise, we will get, I'll take down your name here, and Joe and the team will get back to you because I have more information. So thank you for clarifying. Yeah, and they'll get back to you. Let's move. Sabrina has a great question. What are the most common mistakes that people make when it comes to investing, especially as a beginner?
That's a great question. I think many people make a lot of decisions based on what they're hearing either from other people or in the news. So oftentimes we always hear that common term of jumping on the bandwagon, and oftentimes sometimes people haven't or don't do their research and it doesn't meet their risk tolerance. So we commonly see mistakes like that. For example, I think a lot of people, if you remember a few years back, were interested in buying cannabis stock. That was kind of a huge craze that took a lot of ups and downs before it actually launched, and then legalizing was an opportunity, and then it just kind of muted from there. So I would say a lot of people make the biggest mistake by just listening to other people and not doing the research themselves. Everyone's risk tolerance is different, so be aware of that, because I think that that's important, that if you at least identify your risk tolerance and what's a good fit for you, you'll start to align the individual investments that you're looking at that will fit into that risk tolerance. So it will kind of defer you from potentially making bad decisions or taking the wrong advice. And ultimately too, I think one of the big common mistakes, and I spoke to it a little bit earlier, is many people follow social media, and social media can lead you down a rabbit hole. Oftentimes there's many different answers to the same question, and ultimately by the end of it, you don't know what's the right answer. So I prefer to make sure my research has been vetted and be able to make sure that my decisions are formulated based on what my needs are and my goals are and my risk tolerance is, rather than social media posts that are just trying to sort and follow specific trends. One of those that you probably hear about more often is Bitcoin. I'm sure you've heard that in multiple times. That's again an opportunity where you can follow a lot of different social media posts with a lot of different views, but really it depends on you and what you're looking for from your investments.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hopefully that helped you out, Sabrina. Okay, so someone is asking, how can I determine my risk tolerance? Was this mentioned in the presentation? If it was, can we go back to that slide? I don't think it.
No, risk tolerance was not mentioned because it varies. There are questionnaires that you can fill out that are available to help you identify what's your risk tolerance. Once you identify the risk tolerance that you have, you can then further expand on what asset classes are best suited or what asset types are best suited to meet those needs. You might have ever had an opportunity to fill out a questionnaire. It's usually a 10 or 12 questionnaire that you can actually identify where your risk tolerance is, where you fall. Many of them have it. We also have the opportunity to do that through our platform. And again, it's listed there.
Thank you. Tax reporting, wondering about year-end tax reporting. How is that handled?
So good question. We do the tax reporting. We have all the reporting that is available, either paper-based, or we also will have an area through your account where you'll be able to access all the tax information for your account specifically to print out and take to your tax specialist.
Perfect, thank you. When we refer to the cost of a trade, does that refer to the purchase of one share or one purchase? Does it cost $6.95 to purchase each share, or would it still be $6.95 if you were purchasing 10 shares for one company, ETF, et cetera, in a given moment?
Yeah, so it's $6.95 in that particular case for the transaction. So it doesn't matter if it's one share, 10 shares, or 100 shares.
Great, okay. So we've had a couple questions, like Sonal and a few others are asking, is it free to open an account? Do the 50 free trade expire? So yes, it is free, I think, to open an account, right? And maybe you can elaborate.
Yeah. It is free to open the account. You need to use your 50 free trades though by, I think it's July 31st of 2023. So you'll have a full year to do that.
So that means you don't have to pay the $6.95 for the first 50 trades.
Correct. And you have within a year to use it.
I could just comment on that. It's Carolyn.
Sure.
What happens is you will pay for the trades, but you will be reimbursed for the payment of those trades. It's the way our system manages it.
Great, thanks, Carolyn, for the clarification. So you pay up front, but then you get reimbursed.
Correct.
Carolyn is the voice.
Yeah, thanks,
Carolyn, are the voice. That's the magic of online webinars. You don't
not camera ready today.
So we have a few more minutes. If anyone else wants to, thank you everyone for submitting your questions. And as we mentioned, we do have another sort of follow-up, as Joe mentioned, he will go through some more parts of the platform, and that is on Tuesday, June the 28th, same time. So 6:30, which is great. You know, you can make your dinner, grab your dinner, have a glass of water, some lemonade, go out onto your porch or out, you know, by your window. You can turn on your computer, you can enjoy the outdoors, the sunshine, and you can still attend an online event. That is the advantage of online.
Thanks, Christine. You know what, I just wanted to say thank you everyone for spending your time with me and walking through the platform a little bit more in detail. Looking forward to seeing you guys if you have an opportunity on the 28th and dig a little deeper with respect to our portfolio, our platform in particular. And just also wanted to mention that if there are any questions that did come up that we didn't get a chance to answer, we will get back to you and those questions and circle back with you. And again, thank you for the opportunity. Really happy and excited to be partnering with McMaster Alumni Association.
Yes, we're excited too, especially the 50 free trades.
Mm-hmm.
and the very discounted, right? The $6.95 compared to almost $10 that the banks charge. That's fantastic. Well, I should notice, or should mention, excuse me, I should mention, I did put it in the chat, but if you're not looking at the chat, this webinar is being recorded and we will send out a link within the next few days. We just need to get it closed captioned. So if you are interested in joining us on the 28th, we will send out that registration. So keep your eyes peeled in your inbox for that invitation. And then you might want to rewatch this talk so you can take some more notes and come back to the second one, and you'll come back, you know, really prepared to invest with Qtrade. So I think that's it for me. Joe, did you want to?
No, that's great, Christine. Thank you again for the opportunity, and thanks everyone for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the next webinar. And as I mentioned early on, we'll get back to your questions if we haven't had an opportunity to answer those.
Wonderful. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Carolyn. Thanks everyone for joining us on such a beautiful evening.
Bye.
Go out and enjoy some sunshine.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.